Here is an example on shear. The problem says a rectangular beam has the following properties. PW is 300 mm, D, the effective depth, is 525 mm, FC prime is 21 megapascal, diameter of stirrup is 10 mm, yield strength of the stirrup is 275 megapascal. With these properties, we are asked to determine the required spacing of vertical U stirrups when the required shear strength VU or the ultimate shear is in letter A 40 kilonewtons, B 90 kilonewtons, C 120 kilonewtons, D 300 kilonewtons, and E 500 kilonewtons. So the first thing to do is to determine the adequacy of the cross-section for shear, and that is by comparing VU with the quantity phi multiplied by VC plus 2/3 the square root of FC prime B D. Hence, we need to determine VC. VC is the shear capacity of the concrete, and it is equal to 1/6 multiplied by lambda FC prime, the width of the beam, PW, multiplied by D. Substituting the values, we have 1/6 multiplied by 1 in this case, because there is no mention of the unit weight of concrete. So we assume that the concrete used in here is normal weight concrete. So lambda, the factor lambda is to 1. So we multiply this with the square root of the compressive strength of the concrete, FC prime. It is 21 times 300 times T, 525. This will give us 120.293 kilonewtons. Now, comparing it with letter A, in which VU is 40 kilonewtons, let us substitute the values. So we have VU as 40 kilonewtons equals, or shall we say, equal or less than, should be equal or less than the following quantity: phi multiplied by VC plus 2/3 of FC prime, the square root of FC prime BWD. The factor phi for shear is 0.75. So 0.75 multiplied by VC, which is 120.293 plus 2/3 21, square root of 21 multiplied by 300, 525. This will give us actually 451.1 kilonewtons, which is way greater than 40 kilonewtons. Hence, we could conclude that the cross section is adequate. Now, we are to compare VU, which is 40, VU 40 kilonewtons with the quantity 1/2 phi Vc. One-half phi Vc will actually give us 45.11 kilonewtons, which is still greater than VU. Therefore, we could say that the cross section is adequate to resist shear. So the cross section alone without stirrups is adequate to resist shear if the ultimate shear is 40 kilonewtons. Now in letter B, the ultimate shear is 90 kilonewtons. Again, we are going to compare this with this quantity. And obviously, for 451.1 kilonewton is way greater than 90 kilonewtons. Hence, the cross-section is adequate. Next is we are to compare VU with 1/2 phi Vc. Now this time 90 VU, which is 90 kilonewtons, is greater than 45.11 kilonewtons. Hence, we need to compare VU with phi Vc. And phi Vc is actually equal to 90.25 22 kilonewtons, since VC is 120.293. So we have 90 kilonewtons as VU, and then we have 0.75 of 120.293 kilonewtons. 0.75 of 120.293 is actually 90.22 kilonewtons. So the quantity phi Vc is greater than Vu. If this is the case, we will provide a minimum reinforcement AV. If this is the case, if phi Vc is greater than Vu, and that Vu is greater than 1/2 of phi Vc, a minimum stirrup area is required, and that minimum area of stirrups is AV equal to 0.062 multiplied by square root of Fc prime BW multiplied by S, which is the spacing, divided by FYT. This quantity here should be greater or equal to 0.35 BW multiplied by S divided by FYT. Take note that given in the problem is that stirrups will be of U, meaning to say there are two legs. So AV will be equal to the area of the two legs of the U stirrups, that is 2 multiplied by pi over 4 multiplied by the square of the diameter, which is 10 mm. So we equate this with 0.062 square root of 21,300 S divided by 275. We'll get a value of S here as equal to 506.79 mm. Whereas in the other formula, we have this quantity 0.35 300 times S divided by 275. We'll get a value of S here equal to 411.4 mm. However, there is a provision in the code as to the maximum spacing allowed. In this case, we'll compare the two values of S into the requirement for maximum spacing as either d over 2 or 600 mm, whichever is lesser. D over 2 is 525 over 2, and this is equal to 262.5 mm or 600 mm. So in all of these values, it is the lesser that we are to adopt. So we'll be adopting 262 mm. Okay, so for letter C, VU is 120 kilonewtons. VU is 120 kilonewtons. Again, we are to compare this with this quantity. So we have 120 kilonewtons compared to this quantity, which was previously determined as 451.1 kilonewtons. Hence, the cross-section is adequate. However, though the cross-section is adequate, we have to determine the stirrup requirements since VU is getting larger. As in letter A, in letter B, especially letter B, we are to compare VU with one half phi VC. So VU is equal to 120 kilonewtons. We compare it with one half phi VC, which is equal to 45.11 kilonewtons. In this case, VU is greater than that. We also need to compare VU with phi VC, and it was previously solved as 90.22 kilonewtons. Now, if VU is greater than the quantity phi VC, as in this case, then we need to determine VS. VS is equal to VU divided by phi minus VC. Of course, this was taken from VU equal to phi Vn, in which Vn is equal to Vc plus Vs. So we have Vs is equal to Vu minus Vc. And so Vs is 120 divided by 0.75 minus Vc, which was solved earlier as 120.293. 120.293 kilonewtons. Vs will be equal to 39.707 kilonewtons. Now we can determine the spacing S from the equation Vs equal to AV Fy T multiplied by D divided by S. So we have 39.707 times 10 raised to 3 equal to 2 times pi over 4 by 10 squared. Fyt is 275 multiplied by the effective depth 525 mm divided by S. And S is equal to 571.14 mm. We need to be able to, at this point in time, we need to be able to determine this quantity. 1/3 square root of Fc prime multiplied by 300 times 525. That is this PW being PW and this D. So we have 1/3 21 300 525. This will be equal to 240.585 kilonewtons. This value is to be compared to Vs. And comparing it to Vs, it was found that this quantity is greater than Vs. Hence, we'll be comparing the criterion for the spacing will be D over 2 or 600 mm. Since 1/3 times the square root of Fc prime times B times T is greater than Vs. Vs is the shear that the stirrup should carry. D over 2 is 525 divided by 2. This is equal to 262.5 mm. So we'll use 262.5 mm as the spacing if VU is 120 kilonewtons, since 262 is lesser than 571.14 mm. Now in letter D, VU is equal to 300 kilonewtons. Again, for the sake of presentation of the solution, VU is to be checked or compared with this quantity. So 300 compared with the right side of the quantity, which was previously determined as 451.1. So this criterion is satisfied, hence the cross section is adequate. So comparing VU now with one half VC, obviously VU is way greater than 45.1 kilonewtons. $45.11 kilonewtons, and VU compared with VC is 90.22. So again, 300 kilonewtons is way greater than 90.22 kilonewtons. Hence, we need to determine VS. So VS is VU over V minus VC. So we have 300 divided by 0.75 minus 120.293. VS will be equal to 279.707 kilonewtons. from which we are to determine the spacing of the stirrup. PS AV FYT D divided by S. So 279.707 times the area of the two legs of the stirrups the yield strength of the stirrups, effective depth divided by the required spacing, which is equal to 81.08 mm. Now again, we are to compare Vs with the quantity 1/3 FC prime BW D. The right side quantity is actually equal to 240.585 kilonewtons, which is now greater than, Vs is greater than 240. Hence, the computed spacing S 81.08 will be compared with the spacing requirements in the code, S equal to D over 4 or 300 mm. (525 over 4 is equal to 131.25 mm, which is greater than the previously computed S of 81.08 mm. Hence, we'll use S as equal to 81.08 mm, or say 8 mm. Now for letter E, Vu is equal to 500 kilonewtons. Again, we compare this 500 kilonewtons with this quantity. So 500 kilonewtons as Vu. We'll see if this right side quantity is greater than Vu. That was previously determined or solved as 451.1 kilonewtons. 451.1 kilonewtons, which in this case, when Vu is equal to 500 kilonewtons, this criterion is not satisfied. Hence, the conclusion would be the cross-section is not adequate. Meaning, we have to increase the size of the beam. Increase the size of the beam, especially increasing the effective depth in order to be able to satisfy this criterion. So this is an example of shear.